Welcome back to the Space Terminal Online Summit. We have a very hot topic now, women in space. So let me introduce our panelists. Online is here with us Bianca Cefalo, the co-founder and the CEO of Space Startup and the Director of International Business Development at Carbiz Corporation Deep Tech Startup. Welcome. Bianca, do you hear and see us?
Hi everyone, yes, I can hear you, I can see you, and hope you can see me well with this spacey background.
Perfect, and we also have a space background, and so let me introduce you to each other and also to the viewers. Dorottya Milánkovich, Aerospace Project Manager at C3S, a member of the Space Generation Advisory Council in support of the UN. So welcome here in space. So all three of us are floating in a wonderful background. So let me start by a question. Is there a difference between a male engineer and a female engineer?
I will let Bianca to starting.
Okay, so Bianca.
Well, I guess the difference is just biologic, and that's the difference. And literally, I haven't seen, there is absolutely no difference in, what somebody can achieve in a certain field. What's different is maybe, the way that you integrate the feminine and the masculine into a project, but that's a completely different story. But besides the biology, there is no difference, really.
Yeah. As a biology teacher, I can tell you that's true. So, do you agree? Do you see it otherwise, or what is your experience, Dori?
I completely agree, and I think that male engineers are the same as female engineers in space engineering and in all engineering fields, basically. And fortunately, recently I've been in a conference and I've seen a lot of female engineers, and I met them and spoke with them, and they found their way to the space industry and to pursue their dreams and designing satellites and space instruments.
Sounds very inspiring. I would like to ask both of you to briefly introduce yourself. Actually, I am very interested in what you are enthusiastic about in your work. So maybe Bianca, if you can start.
Yeah, I can. I guess I'm enthusiastic about everything space. And so when I started coming into the space industry, it was a bit of an accidental circumstance.
Like a space accident, the best space accident I can imagine. Bianca arriving.
It was literally a space accident. I used to say I'm an accidental rocket scientist because I wanted to work on Formula One. So I was passionate about aerodynamics and high-performing supercars. But then throughout my studies at the university, I realized I could actually apply the same concept to hypersonic aerodynamics, re-entry vehicles, and interplanetary missions like Martian missions or any other planet or wherever where there is an atmosphere. And so I was like, okay, if instead of just being grounded, I'm just going into space. So this is where I started. My very first project was the InSight Mars mission, which landed on Mars in 2018. And for me, the most exciting part of it all is that besides breaking limitations that are the ones we thought we could never break from a humanity perspective, really the idea of contributing to something bigger for the next generations to be able to see Earth from another perspective, which is more common than it is nowadays with just still a couple of astronauts going there. The idea that humanity can evolve beyond what we know as our home at the moment, that's extremely exciting. That's really what motivates me to do what I do every day.
It really sounds motivating, and as you speak, we can see your eyes are shining like one of the stars behind you. So
yeah, you can tell I really love what I do.
yeah. So Dori, can you also tell us, please, what makes you enthusiastic about your own work and how does it look like?
I have a physics background. I studied physics in university, and currently I'm working as a project manager in a CubeSat company and a satellite, complex satellite system developing company. And although our company is developing instruments for large satellite missions, I'm responsible for the CubeSat missions and the CubeSat development. And yes, I am communicating with the team, I'm coordinating their work, and also I'm keeping in touch with the partners, both from national and international industry and academia. So it's quite interesting to see many people working together from different countries in one project. And finally, we have succeeded to launch our first satellite, which was a 3-unit CubeSat in this August, and it's operating since then. It's already collecting scientific data, and just recently we were discussing these results, and it seems that it's quite useful scientific data, and it can contribute to the whole space science, and wow. I think it's really amazing from researchers' point of view and from engineering point of view, that the instruments and the whole platform which we were working on for years, it's working, and I'm very proud of the team, both for the international team and the team in our company.
Mm-hmm. We already have incoming questions from the audience, so, and this one is, I can just place it here. Have you ever been discriminated because of being a woman? I guess it concerns about your work, your job. Bianca, do you have any negative? But then let's turn it to positive, you know, when discrimination, and what did you learn from that, if yes?
Yeah, I honestly, probably I didn't feel like I've been discriminated in my job. Not in the way I've been paid, not in the way I've been hired, not in the way I've been treated. It is true that I've always been mostly the only woman in the boardroom. I remember when I joined Airbus Defence and Space previously in my career, I was literally the only one in a boardroom under 30, the only woman, non-British. So there was a lot of, first things happening there, but I've never felt discriminated. If anything, I always try to ask many questions, be curious about people, understanding what is their perception. And I found that most of those people weren't really, obviously they were, generally, when you are the only person different in the room, there is a lot of curiosity, but that curiosity wasn't discrimination. Actually, they felt like they really wanted to help. They wanted to help me to understand their point of view. They wanted to help me to understand how things were working. I think that all the discriminations I've actually felt were when I started studying aerospace engineering, where people, back home or, your neighbors, people that you generally see on a daily basis, for them was something that was a bit out there. So they would used to say, oh, that's too difficult for you. Oh, you're not coming from a family of engineers. You don't have the background. You have to learn new languages. I think the discrimination was just a perceived belief, which I never thought was going to be part of my life. And I haven't really had bad experiences. Obviously, there are, now and then people that don't have much common sense. But that's not just because I'm a woman. It's just because they don't have common sense at all. So.
Sure. Dori, can you confirm that discrimination is actually just a belief that we think women have, or you experienced otherwise?
I experienced once. Fortunately, it wasn't in the university studies and neither in the company and our close environment. But once I've been in a conference, maybe 5 years ago, in Spain, and there was this guy, and we were talking with my colleague, and this guy who should have helped us and mentoring us, he just staring. He was just staring at my colleague, and during the, I don't know, 20 minutes talk, like I wasn't be there, even there anyway, and it was quite surprising for me, especially because I was competent in the field which we were discussing about, and I tried to add my suggestions and my opinion, and to join the conversation, but I didn't feel that I was involved.
I see. Do you have any advice or lessons learned and advice to women who are entrepreneurs watching, or students? How can they tackle this, or how should they at all get into space industry?
Yes, I would advise to have a self-confidence, because these women and students and girls are usually smart, and then they are really great at their profession and their work. And I think if somebody has the competence and the knowledge, it will be listened and heard. And they have to go ahead. They have to share their thoughts, and because that's what the world's needed.
Bianca?
Yeah, I would say basically the same. And also, I can give an example. So many people think that getting into, STEM subjects, like the space industry, is the first thing you have to do. So first of all, I like to say that now the space industry has just become so embedded into our own lives that you don't have to be just a rocket scientist to get into the space industry. You have to be a lawyer, you have to be an artist, you have to be a doctor, you can be all of those, biologists. So there is a huge spectrum of possibilities for people who like the space industry and want to contribute to that. So that's the first thing I would say. And the other one for girls and women who really like STEM subjects like engineering, physics, mathematics. And when they get told it's difficult, I'm giving you this example. So I'm a very mathematical, logical person. I loved engineering and all of that since I was a child. My brother hated it, and he's younger than me, and he was way more into management, whatever, economics. So he started studying criminal law. And I was studying aerospace engineering. He would look at my pages full of equations and wanted to throw up. I will look at these pages where people think, okay, it's just, a bunch of laws and things that you have to remember. I will look at what he was studying, and I was like, I could never, ever even open a book like that. So people think, studying law, studying economics is much easier than studying aerospace engineering. It's not true. It really depends on your aptitudes and what you like. I could never really been sitting down going through pages of pages that don't have equations, just because I love equations. So again, it's not a matter of being difficult from an objective point of view. It's a matter of what you like and what really makes you feel good with yourself when you're learning new things. This is general, from STEM subjects to books you read, to people you want to be around. So don't really limit yourself because there is this belief that, it's difficult, it's just for engineers, or it's just for men. It isn't.
Sure. And you really do work with the next generation STEM leaders. You inspire them, you do science communication and science science pop actually. So I would like to ask one of my favorite questions. What makes you optimistic about the future based on what you already experienced?
What makes me extremely optimistic is that the rate at which technologies has advanced lately, it's been exponential. And the very good thing about social media, so let's remove, the bad out of that.
Yeah.
The good thing about social media is that now there is possibility for any people like us, like me, women, girls, men, whoever can feel represented by people like us.
Yeah, involved and joined in. Yeah.
Yeah, they can find us. We have created over the pandemic, I think everyone on different scales has created a support network, which is just virtual. And this is extremely beautiful because you can really now easily, wherever you are in the world, find somebody who is like-minded, starting a chat, starting a group project. This is how I also started my business last year during the pandemic with two of my ex-colleagues and friends, where we thought, okay, this is what we want to do. Mm-hmm. This is how I've connected with amazing people across the world that are part of the space industry and are really keen on advocating for space, women, gender equality in the next level of humankind evolution beyond Earth. So that's extremely, that makes me feel very positive. It means that we are decentralizing, power just to being in one location where you only know the same people and you don't have access. Now there is access to pretty much everything you want to know for free or for a very little monthly fee. So it's becoming more democratized rather than centralized. And I think this is extremely important for everybody who didn't know they could look like us and being a space engineer. And now they know. So instead of following fashion blogs, for example, they can follow space industry leaders on Instagram. I think that's great.
So then just follow the news and dive in. So closing remarks, because we already reached the end. What makes you optimistic and what is your advice for people who are watching, women who are watching?
Yeah, I think in these days the knowledge is available, and if you are interested in something, you can easily join a course or take some studies by yourself. And also the space community is quite open, and if you are reaching somebody to ask some advice, they will be happy to answer you because they have the passion for this topic, and then you can open these gates easily if you ask. You just have to go for it, and then be prepared, be enthusiastic, connect with the experts and the engineers who are experts in the field.
And then
yes,
it will just unfold.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much, ladies. Thank you for joining me in the studio, online and live. And I wish you good luck for your work. And I'm sure we will see you soon because this is amazing work what you do. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to you. You have a good day. Thanks, everyone.
Goodbye.
All of you who are watching us, now is time for the lunch break. Lunch break, we love lunch break. I hope you prepared some amazing lunch, and we will continue at 2 p.m. CET. So see you very soon. Alexis Lethem will be here with you, and we will meet again tomorrow. So see you very soon. Thank you very much for being with us, and we shall continue.